is also with us from Prabhudas, Lilladher. Good afternoon. Amisha, let me start with you. It's Women's Day, and of course, first of all, happy Women's Day to you. Your thoughts on the recent market action and whether indeed a bottom is in place.
So I think market in last 2 weeks have shown a very good strength. It's broad-based and not very focused on a few stocks. And when we see it in the background of the fact that we've been going through a major crisis on the NBFC front, still I would say it's not completely resolved, and a slowdown on some of the domestic consumption segments, coupled with the fact that we had geopolitical tension. So we had missed this year's year-to-date rally in the emerging markets to a great extent. And now I think we are trying to catch up with it. As we know and as we see, the FI flows are very well counterbalancing the slowdown in domestic flows, which had been the main strength last year. And so overall fund flow is still positive. So I think it's a very good move that market has shown. It's neither running away, it's taking 2 steps forward, taking a breather, broad-basing itself. So I think it's a very positive move.
Okay, Amisha, your colors are absolutely matching our channel colors today. I guess pink is the color of the day. So absolutely in sync. Greetings and wishes of Women's Day to you. Some of the stocks on the move. I mean, off late, there's been a lot said about, of course, NBFCs. And the divergent buying patterns are very clear. What we're seeing on a Bajaj Finance, for instance, today. On housing finance, now there are fresh regulations that are coming in that the NHB is talking about. Within the NBFC basket, which are the stocks that you would be willing to back now?
I think Bajaj Finance, of course, continues to benefit from whatever has happened in the sector, because in terms of both their brand pedigree, so the cost, so the raising of liability is not an issue still for them, nor the cost of liability. And the machine to deploy, the assets is also chugging along better than before. So in terms of business, they continue to be doing very well. Other than that, I think in terms of both business and valuation, some of the NBFC stocks to look at would include Shriram Transport Finance, would include Mahindra Financials, and of course L&T Finance.
Okay, fair enough.
And this is Arvind Limited, the textiles business. Let's just pull up today's listing, and of course the way it played out. We're talking about the weakness that seeped into the stock. So what is your thought process, Amisha, on what transpired today with the Arvind Fashions listing? What have you been telling clients? Because now you're trade to trade for the next 10 sessions, so there's no exit really. What is the advice here? 620, 5% circuit today.
So firstly, let me accept that it is not under our active coverage at the moment, and we have not been tracking it. So it will not be appropriate on my part to talk much about this stock at this point of time. I do understand there has been some goof up in terms of renewed listing, but I would refrain from commenting on that.
Okay, fair enough. Let me then broaden the question to generally retail. Are you positive on any other retail stocks at the moment?
So in the retail space, yes, we are positive. We have been we have been liking future retail, as also we like Aditya Birla Fashion. Both we think are attractively priced, and the growth in the space will continue to be very good. Though trend is also not under active coverage, but that's also a place where we are positive.
Okay,
Before we let you go, I'm just looking at the gainers of the week, and again, this is something that perhaps one has to keep in mind. Look at some of the best performing stocks of the week. Manpasand Beverages, there's Vakrangi, there's also Avanti Feeds, Aban Offshore. All kinds of names have also moved up in this rally. So I guess caution is advised. What would be your 1 or 2 top mid-cap picks where you found value, where you're convinced on growth? Leave us with some names.
So there are two ways to reply to you. Some of the names which you mentioned have fallen, 60, 70 or maybe 80% from the peak. So when you say they have gone up whatever 10, 15 or 20%, but still in terms of where they are coming, the gain is limited. But I agree, in some of the names caution is required. And in this market which is likely to unfold in the year, I think as compared to last year when we took a lot of shelter in protecting wealth in extreme quality stocks but at very high valuation, I think this year will be slightly different, that instead of that people would likely to go and park and expect some money to be made in a place which is value driven rather than absolutely growth driven. In that paradigm or in that background, some of the stocks which we like, or rather I like, one of them, it's not pure mid cap, it's a proper FNO stock, but I like is BHEL. I think that's giving an extremely good risk return after almost 8 to 10 years of negative growth. Out of that 6 years of absolute negative growth, both their order book is growing, their execution is growing, and their profitability is growing. And the way India's power consumption is likely to grow and is growing, and the PLF on a broader basis is, I think it will not be far when India starts investing in thermal capacities again, little more aggressively. It could be about a year or 2 years ahead. And till then, they have sufficient and growing order book. So I think BHEL to me looks extremely well poised for a medium-term investments, but with very limited risk of downside.
Okay, interesting. A cyclical name and something that the market hasn't taken note of till now. That's an interesting one. Thank you very much, Amisha. We appreciate you joining us on the show today. Have a great weekend. We hope to connect again soon. That's a word from Prabhudas Lilladher. Well, on that note,